Most Platinum Trophy related videos you'll find on YouTube showcase a gamer's skill and dedication to the game they're showing, finally achieving the ultimate goal with the Platinum Trophy. Not this video though. Having never played any of the Souls-like games past the opening first hour or so, I thought with my newish found love for trophy hunting, I would attempt one and see how I got on. With my inability to block, dodge or time attacks correctly, I knew I was in for a rough time. So this is the story of my descent into madness as I overcame almost every obstacle just to fall at the last hurdle. So we begin with the idea in my head. The first thought was to research which of all the Souls-like games were the easiest, and then cross-reference them with price range, and Thymesia, thanks to PlayStation Plus Extra, was the obvious choice. I pulled up the guide to reference potential missable trophies, grabbed my pad and jumped right in. So like with most games, Thymesia starts with a tutorial, where it teaches you the basics and sets you on your merry way. Straight off the bat, I should have known this was potentially a mistake, as the footage you're currently watching was attempt number 4. I had died 3 times on a tutorial. Nonetheless, I persisted and earned the first trophy of the game for reaving a plague weapon for the first time. Seconds later, I earned the second trophy of the game for finding a beacon, Thymesia's version of bonfires from Elden Ring, and rested, earning the trophy, Take a Break. The third trophy wasn't far away either. This trophy I could have earned about 900 times throughout the game, but here was my very first death, which got me the trophy, Memory Interrupted. After dying again, and again, and again on the same enemy, I eventually made it to the end of the tutorial, where me dying was actually meant to happen. Classic Souls. Here I earned, or was rather given, the trophy, Darkness. So with the main game beginning, I was cautiously optimistic, and when the game decided to give me the 5th trophy for the simple act of entering a level, my optimism grew even more. I then ran around the first area for what felt like a lifetime, getting to grips with how tough the game was for me, and managed to unlock my first plague weapon, earning me the trophy, It's Mine Now. I then came up against my first boss, Oda. This bastard killed me so many times that I genuinely got excited when I thought I beat him, only for him to have a second phase. This boss alone probably improved my gameplay massively, judging from my first attempt and comparing it to my last. I then proceeded to struggle time and time and time again, losing my shit until I eventually lost my shit and ended up turning the game off at one point in a bit of a rage quit. I eventually put the game back on and somehow managed to beat him, earning me the trophy. Shortly after beating Oda, I then got my next trophy, which was for finishing the Sea of Trees level. It was fair to say that all of the dreamed optimism from when I first started the game had come rushing back, and I wasn't having too much difficulty as I progressed through the game. I earned the trophy, Weapon Master, for fully upgrading one of my plague weapons, before then facing my second boss of the game, which gave me little to no trouble at all. I got the trophy, the Hanged Queen, for, well, defeating the Hanged Queen. The trophies of this game were not very creative. Then, just like the earlier level, I got another trophy for completing the level and returning to my base area. The level and trophy name, Royal Garden. Each of the levels in the game also has a small number of side missions included. A few of the side missions are literally just boss fights, and in this case it was a massive looking worm thing. Somehow, on my first attempt, I managed to beat it, earning the trophy, The Sound of the Abyss, and also the trophy, Piece of Cake, for defeating the boss without using a potion. Another of the side missions that was kind of similar was for the trophy God of the Fools. With this side level, we had to make our way to the top of the walkways, destroying all poisonous blobs along the way and fighting, or in my case avoiding, all of the enemies scattered throughout. After a couple of attempts, I eventually got to the top and put the God of Fools to rest. I then decided to tackle the next main level in the game, and ran through it like a man possessed, no issues whatsoever. I eventually got to the end of the level and had to fight Varg, the boss. You might remember him from the tutorial. After a couple of failed attempts, victory was mine, and the trophy popped. Unlike previous completed levels, once I recalled back to the mob base, I then earned the trophy Hermes Fortress. I then upgraded my potion to its max potential, which earned me the trophy, the Alchemist, before then taking on yet another boss. This time, it was Mutated Odor, and this fight took me hours and hours. But it's also where I learned how to block efficiently, for the first time in my life. Once defeated, I got the trophy Mutated Odor. And I think it's fair to say that I got a bit hyped when I eventually won this fight. I then earned 4 trophies in quick succession. The first trophy was defeating the boss Erd, but me being the Mongol that I am forgot to click record after my computer decided to do a Windows update. Then I earned the trophy Lord of Plague for unlocking all of the plague weapons before then having to fight myself. This fight took me a few attempts, but once I did manage to defeat Corvus, I also got the trophy Complete Memory for completing all of the levels. The next 5 trophies were all related to the endings of the game, for fusing different cores from each of the bosses together, decided on which ending I got and which trophy I earned. The downside to this was that for each of the endings you had to beat the boss all over again, which at first was as annoying as hell, but I ended up steamrolling the boss at every attempt once I got the attack pattern down. So in order, we had Chaotic Power, Power of Vile Blood, Blessing of Pure Blood, Harmonized Force, and Power of Cleansing. Once all were complete, I then earned an additional trophy, Memory Seeker, for reaching all endings. With all that done, it was just a case of tidying up loose ends. For collecting all laws and showing them to specific NPCs, I earned the trophy Good Listener. I then spent about 30 minutes repeatedly killing this one enemy, for one of 2 herbs that I was missing. Once the herb had dropped, I went to a different enemy and thankfully got the second herb quite quickly, giving me the trophy Herb Gatherer. I then crafted my first potion recipe, which netted me the Is This Alchemy trophy, before then crafting all the other potion recipes in order to earn the trophy Plague Doctor. The next 2 trophies were both linked to collectibles. The first trophy was Memory Weaver for collecting all story bits, and because I'd already got the laws earlier on, I then got the trophy The Great Collector. With only 3 trophies left, I could smell the Platinum Trophy on the horizon. I knew exactly what I had to do. 2 tedious trophies left which I thought I'd tackle first, so I started with the trophy Rolling Required Ahead. I had to break 1000 barrels, and because I was aware of this trophy quite early on, I'd been breaking almost every barrel I'd come across. I still ended up having to grind it out for a while. Eventually, that 1000th barrel was broken and the trophy popped. The next trophy had the potential to be the most tedious of them all. I had to get to max level, which meant an extra 15 levels worth of memory shards needed to be harvested. All the guides suggested repeatedly killing specific bosses, but thankfully I found a workaround. There was a potion recipe that gave you 25% extra memory shards. This also worked when picking up shards you dropped when dying. At some point in the game I was given a bloodstained dagger which would return me to the nearest beacon, but I would lose all my shards. So use the dagger, drink the potion, pick up the shards, and it's an easy plus 25%, rinse and repeat. I hit level 50 in no time and got the trophy Peak Performance. So, one trophy left, and this is the trophy that is causing the failed platinum attempt. I have to do the tutorial and fight Varg and take one full health bar off of him. The deflect window is so small, and as you have no levels or ability points, you do trickle damage. I've tried time and time again, and I know for some people this trophy was probably easy, but for me and my slow ass reaction speeds, I just can't manage it, no matter how many times I attempt it. It wouldn't be so bad if I didn't have to replay the whole tutorial instead of just the fight, but maybe that's just me moaning through frustration because I'm shit. Thymesia is still on my PS5. I still have a try here and there, but for now, it's a failure, and one that has put me off attempting any other Souls-like platinums.